Welcome back, everyone. I am Psycho Emerald. Today I'm back with another Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch figure review. Today I have the Endor Rebel Soldier from Return of the Jedi. This was released in the 40th anniversary line, so this is the card back that it came on. So we have this somewhat blurry photo from the film of an Endor Rebel Soldier. It says Rebel Commando right there, 40th anniversary logo. And then back here we got the regular stuff, some other figures that came out in the 40th anniversary line around this same time. So these are figures I've been excited about for a while, mainly because I want to finally start building out my Rebel army, quote unquote. Even though I don't army build, I did buy 2 of these, and part of what drew me to it was the customizability with the swappable faceplates and all the accessories that they come with, to where essentially you can have 2 different figures. There's enough variety here that I felt the need to own 2 of these. And I definitely feel the same way about the Hoth Rebel Trooper. I need to get around to getting a couple of those soon, and I'd love to have the Rebel Fleet Trooper as well. But yeah, I've really been excited about these, especially with like Battlefront 2 and all the Battlefront games, really. These guys being so prominent as playable Rebel Troopers, and it's definitely fun to have them finally represented in the collection. And of course, Endor is just a great planet, great setting in Star Wars that I really enjoy, and I know a lot of other people do as well. So being able to get more stuff for the Return of the Jedi display and for Endor is definitely really cool. But yeah, we can start looking at the figures here, so I'll switch the angle and we can start getting a close-up on them. So now we can start looking at the figures here, so we can look at the face sculpts. Now this one is somewhat based on the older man that we saw in Return of the Jedi that some people like to theorize is Rex. It definitely is very similar, but it's not necessarily specifically based on that likeness. And this one is just a pretty generic looking human male face right there. So both of them are cool. I like having the younger trooper and the older trooper both on display next to each other. It's definitely cool to have both represented. But if we want to look at the rest of the outfit details, of course we've got the helmet here. Lots of cool dings, dents, and scratches. Silver paint on the side there. The top is different. I have been painting the Legion miniatures of the Rebel Troopers, and I've been painting them to look like Endor Troopers, so it's definitely cool to see all the little details in the outfits here, since I've kind of been focusing on them so much lately. We've got this little silver panel here, a little bit right there as well. Might be a badge of some kind, since we see the officers have badges kind of like that, indicating their rank. And back here, we've got this tan jacket, which I believe there is some variety. I don't know for sure. Maybe there's some that have green jackets. I have to go back and check sometime. But yeah, and gray sleeves. You got the belt down here. And the sleeves are gray because he's got kind of the grayish undershirt here, which you can see butterfly joints. But yeah, this is rubbery, so it will get out of the way for articulation and such. Then down here, probably the main attraction are the camo green pants with a very cool green pattern on them. I really enjoy that. I feel like those are really well painted, which I guess now is a good time to talk about that price point. Which is definitely not desirable at about $35. So to buy both of these was around $70. I definitely think that's overpriced, but I really enjoy these figures. I think they're really cool and some of the best stuff out of this line. So I definitely think they're worth that much, but it is overpriced, and I don't think based on, the criteria we know for a standard release versus a deluxe, I don't think these quite warrant it. But we don't really see what goes on behind the scenes there. We don't know why they have to price certain things certain ways. I think part of it probably has to do with the intricate painting to do with these camo pants. These turned out really nice, and if it takes 35 bucks a figure to get these, great paint effects here on the pants, like, that's worth it to me. That's essential for a Rebel Trooper, and I really think it looks great. So, and then we got the brown boots down here, which look cool as well. Maybe a little bit of weathering on the boots would have been nice, but still think those are pretty cool. And yeah, I guess photoreal application looks nice on both the faces, and the sculpts both look really good. So let's talk about the articulation, I guess. I think it's really great. Pretty much everything you'd want out of a trooper. Great tilt on the head, butterfly joints, regular Black Series stuff here with the single jointed swivel elbows. Up and down hinge for the aiming hand. I saw a lot of people not liking that the knees weren't painted. I don't know how they could have done that without it scuffing. I know some people say they would be fine even if it did. Me personally, I don't want to have the paint rub off and have it look, ugly and worn out. So I'd rather they just didn't paint it, and it's probably a lot more difficult in the painting process if you have to, do things like that, like lift that whole thing in the factory and paint over that with that same very complex paint effect they've got going on in the pants. Probably would not have worked out as well. But yeah, pretty standard Black Series stuff, but I do like The head tilt especially, and of course the butterfly joints are great. Now that we've pretty thoroughly gone over the figure, let's talk about the accessories. Okay, so first up we have the faceplates, which we already talked about, but these will pop out. It takes quite a bit of effort, so the first time you do it, be careful not to break it or scuff it or anything. You will need a little bit of effort, so just be patient with that. But you can swap the faceplates out. Like if I wanted to have 2 older guys, I could do that, and if I wanted to have 2 younger guys, I could totally do that if I wanted to, but I obviously want to have the variety on the shelf. So yeah, there's those. There is no storage for those like there is on the Hoth Rebel Trooper. They just come as they are. And you have to find a spot for them yourself, I guess. And then we got the bandolier piece with the silver painted on it. We've got some maybe ammunition right here, and all sorts of cool little Star Warsy looking things that you can slip over their shoulder like this. So you want to kind of get it up under their arm like that, and then over the head, you get it right there. So yeah, but this guy I like to have with the backpack. So speaking of which, so here's the backpack. It's got really great sculpt on it, of course, all the wrinkles in it to make it look realistic. And we've got the silver clip there, as well as the silver little ring. And we got this little tube on the side, which is kind of cool. Not too much to say. Pretty standard looking backpack, but very well painted and sculpted, and it feels high quality as well. It doesn't feel cheap or light or anything. And of course, you can go like that with both arms and get that onto his back. Just like that. And it'll rest really nicely once you get him in the right position. And yeah, you got a nice backpack on your Rebel Trooper there. I really enjoy that as well. So let's move on to the final 2 accessories, which are just going to be the blasters. Then we got the 2 blasters. I don't know what this one's called, but this one's an A280C, I believe. Both very well sculpted. No paint or dry brushing or anything on these, unfortunately, but they are very cool weapons nonetheless, and it's nice to have 2 different ones, so you can have one trooper holding one blaster and one holding the other, just for that little more display variety that I really like. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much be everything as far as accessories, details, articulation. So let me get these guys into a cool pose and I'll give you guys a closer look at the Endor Rebel Commandos. Alright, so that's going to pretty much wrap it up for my review of the Endor Rebel Commando from Return of the Jedi. I think this is a great figure, definitely overpriced, but I think to a certain extent that price is worth it. I definitely recommend grabbing a couple of these, even at full price. I've definitely found it worth it because of all the enjoyment I've gotten out of these figures. These just might crack my top 5 when we get around to May the 4th again, but we will have to see because we've got some other awesome figures coming out soon. Speaking of which, we might have an unboxing stream coming up, so if any of you guys are interested in that, please be sure to stay tuned for a live stream popping up on the channel soon. So hope you guys are excited for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like. And if you like Star Wars The Black Series figure reviews, I do a lot of Black Series content on my channel. So if that's something you're interested in, please consider subscribing in order to join the army of the Knights of Mischief. I appreciate every single one of you who has done so already. I appreciate every single one of you who has even just watched one of my videos or left a like or subscribed or left a comment. It means the world to me. And thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.